Good morning, Bill.
Magic. Good morning. You add one thing to another, and something new appears. It's amazing.
Jake is eating breakfast, and I asked him what he was eating. He said his protein-packed oatmeal. And me just kind of assuming that Jake is this very bougie, well researched and shopped guy. I said, "Man, where do you get protein-packed oatmeal?" And he goes, "You take your oatmeal, you put a little protein in it." So there you go, everybody. There you go. If you were ever curious, you just put a little protein in the oatmeal, fixes you right up.
That's right. That's right. And if you want to add some butter and some walnuts to it, then you will have a Jake brand oatmeal.
Walnuts, man. Dang, that's crazy.
Yeah, they're good. They're good. That is well researched. Put good stuff in my body because walnuts are about fourth or fifth down on my list of nuts. I would just go, hey, I have a handful of nuts to eat, and it would be further down the list. But inside of oatmeal, it's just crunchy.
So does that mean that you're a pumpkin pie fan or a pecan pie fan?
I'm pecan over pumpkin.
What?
I like them both though.
That's insane. that's just I don't know. I don't know who you are anymore, Jake Jordan.
Yeah. I'm not a fruit and my dessert guy, so most pies that people like, I don't really like. I mean, they're fine, but I wouldn't choose them.
Mm-hmm.
And then yes, pecan pie, chocolate pecan pie in particular. My grandma made a mean chocolate pecan pie.
Chocolate pecan pie.
Oh.
I've never even heard of this before.
Oh, Lord. Cool. Yeah, that's good.
All right. So, that's next week. It's like Thanksgiving, which is
holy cow,
ridiculous. So yeah. I am thinking in my head of like, okay, like what am I going to do next week? Mm-hmm. How much do I work? How much do I take off? Mm-hmm. And stuff like this, because part of me wants to just take the whole week off. Just kind of shut it down, use the time to relax and rejuvenate and all of these things, reconnect. But then on the other hand, it's like I'm worried about losing the motive, about losing the edge, if you will, right? Yeah. And it's weird because since we do this every morning, right, or most weekday mornings, it's going to feel very odd to go for a week without having like any kind of accountability conversations. Like very, very weird.
Yes, absolutely. Well, like something's wrong. Like the universe is like turned sideways and I'm being dumped out of it.
That's true. Good morning, Michelle. Michelle, I'm curious, favorite pie next week. What is it going to be? Is it pecan? Is it pumpkin? Is it some other delicious thing that you make that I have no idea even exists?
Rhubarb. Who knows?
Good morning, Lindsay. Hey, hello. Lindsay. Do you know Lindsay?
I do.
Oh, okay, cool. I was like, man, we're just getting stranger organic pull for the show this morning. That's awesome.
Buyers.
Lindsay, same question, right? Next week's Thanksgiving. What pie? What food thing are you most looking forward to? One thing. If it's not pie, I don't know if we can be friends. Good morning, Mike.
Hey, Mike. I want to know both. I want to know the one food and the one pie because those are different things altogether.
That's fair. That's fair.
Like, for example, green
pumpkin cheesecake.
That's really good. That's solid. I would even take a pumpkin cheesecake over a standard pumpkin, probably. It's so good. And I'm sure Michelle's is outstanding. So
I mean, Michelle doesn't cook anything bad. I've had lots of her food, and man, it's always amazing. Rolls, man,
hot
like
buttered rolls.
Yeah,
there it is.
Like even the lame Pillsbury like croissants that comes in the tin, and they're black cherry pie. Holy crap, Lindsay, you have a legit Thanksgiving. We just have like pumpkin pie and that's kind of it. So,
yeah.
Awesome. Mike, what are you looking forward to next week, sir? with Thanksgiving. One food, one dessert that you're just really looking forward to. Put it in the comments.
I'm a big fan of green bean casserole, but I like green beans.
So I like green beans. I hate green bean casserole, and Melissa cannot eat it because she had it once and it she ate too much of it and it made her sick as a kid. And so to this day, can't eat it. And one time, I don't know, like 7 years ago, she tried to make it, and just like looking at it, she's like, yeah, I can't do it. So
that'll do it.
I will do it.
What's funny is I don't like mushrooms very much. I don't like onions. I don't like casserole. I like some casseroles. Don't get me wrong, some casseroles, but like all the things that normally go in a green bean casserole, I don't like. But somehow, when you push them all together, put them in the stove or in the oven, and you take it out, I'm first in line with a fork. It just, I don't know what happens. It's once again magic. It's all magic.
I love nothing more than how much Jake Jordan loves food. It makes me so happy because, for forever, whenever Jake and I worked together at the bank, I was like, man, like this guy's got his stuff together. He works out. He brings his lunch. I didn't have a kid yet, and he had 2 kids, and I was like, man, like this guy is so disciplined and squared away. He's an entrepreneur and working at the bank, and then come to find out, he's just as bad as everybody else is. He just has his own little segments to where he goes off the rails, and it's desserts.
It's all day, every day. I was already thinking about Christmas desserts. I was like, all right, I'm gonna be ready for this Christmas party when it comes.
That's for sure, man. So do you go out to the parents' farm? Mm-hmm. How do you do that?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I mean, parental stuff's always weird. No matter, holidays are always you're juggling.
Yeah, that's fair.
Houses and things like that. So we end up normally doing a couple of them. This year we'll be at Minnie's parents because her brother and family will be out there, and we haven't seen them in a while. So we will be having Thanksgiving Day at their house.
Cool.
Then we're going to do my parents a couple days before.
Man, look at the comments. So hold on. So Mike is talking about pumpkin cheesecake. Mm-hmm. Is it? That
was a thing.
Yeah, is this that common of a thing? I love cheesecake. It's because I enjoy baking, and it's one of the very first things I learned how to bake. And I'm not very consistent at it, but cheesecake or pumpkin cheesecake sounds way better.
It's a first world problem. I think it's definitely in Dallas Fort Worth and big metropolitan areas that there's too much pumpkin cheesecake.
That's true.
Yeah,
man.
Really
yeah. So what's your plan for next week? Are you taking the whole week off? Are you gonna be at the parents the whole week? Does that drive you crazy? Mine too, Lindsay. Cheesecake is my jam. Good. Okay, hold on. Before we answer this question, coming in solid. Cranberry salad? What is
out of the can?
Oh, cranberry sauce.
No, both. Cranberry salad, and the more elaborate the better, but I still love it. Maybe it does mean cranberry sauce.
Yeah, what is cranberries?
I'm sorry. If you're an out of the can cranberry guy, we're done. Like that is so gross.
Hey, the guy likes what he likes. We're not going to judge him for that.
Yeah, I just met him around the table. That's all. Levi, I just our table time is done.
So
one thing, because you like what's the Christmas vacation where
Shitter's full?
Huh?
Shitter's full?
No, that's the one. That green gelatin thing that the grandma brings to the table. Mm-hmm. Like that's what canned cranberry sauce reminds me of. And it's like, I cannot partake in that. That is no good.
Levi is taking us on a bit of a journey this morning. If Jell-O, pecans, and mandarin oranges are involved, it is a salad. Is this a thing that happens with cranberry sauce?
At Levi's house.
Man, okay, cool. I think I want to try it.
I think that's something different.
Maybe. Okay.
Oh no, cranberry salad. That makes sense. So I don't know.
Okay, man.
Levi's gonna have to write a book or a pamphlet or something for us.
Levi's Pinterest board is gonna be legit
for the Thanksgiving holidays.
So what's your plan next week, buddy? Like, are you meeting with clients? You taking the week off? Is it a partial week or what?
I've got no clients. We booked no clients next week.
Okay.
We had a couple requests and we went ahead and just turned them down. And then
nice brag. Good job.
Yeah, sorry, it wasn't a brag at all. It's just like, no, I don't think we want to do stuff this next week. And then we've got a little bit of work that could be done, but I'm thinking I might not do anything Monday through Thursday. Like I might sneak something in Friday or Saturday just to keep the brain warm, just to do something because I want to. Because I got to be honest, 4 days of doing nothing, there's not much. I like to do things, and during the holidays it gets tougher to. Plus COVID, it makes it tough to actually do things. So I would imagine I'll be doing a lot of sitting and probably be a little stir crazy Friday afternoon. So we'll see. But my plan is to take most of it off, 99% of it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Part of me just wants to like shut it all the way down and just go Monday through Friday because we haven't taken a trip this year. It's been pretty nonstop. Taking a week wouldn't be like the worst thing ever, but like you, it's just kind of like, I don't really know if I earned it. It's just a little bit of work, and stuff like this. And then I kind of make it okay in my head.
Yeah, you hear the difference too, right? Like John hasn't earned a full week off, and I'm like, I'm going to be so bored. I got to do it.
Well, that's the other concern as well is, as much as the girls don't like it when I work all the time, they like it when I work because I kind of stay out of the way. And we're going to have family over here. And so there's going to be a lot of like cooking and preparation on Melissa. Thankfully, the podcast for next week is already done. We did a long episode last week, and we decided to really, we're trying very hard to not make it hour-long episodes because we understand that an hour is a lot of people's time. So we've been trying to like get it shorter. So we broke this one up into 2 episodes, and it's all about like motivation, right? Is motivation enough to make you a good salesperson? And then in the second episode is talking about like where motivation like actually hurts you sometimes as a salesperson. So that's nice and exciting. Oh, good news. I finished the course yesterday. Well, the writing portion of it. So yes, it is now in Melissa's editing more than capable hands. I finished it at like 7:30 last night, but my BIL bet does not include being done at 4:30 this week. So,
okay.
Cha-ching. So I feel a lot better about that. Today I'm going to be knocking out the recording segments that go along with those sections because so much of sales is tonal and things like this, like the nonverbal aspects of communication that are still, kind of verbal. So I want to put some audio and some video along with it, but it's being edited now. Other cool news is we're looking for people to test read the book. And so the book coach sent me a list of people. I'm looking for some younger people because they have connections with people who are in their 30s and 40s. And so I'm looking for some people in their 20s who are interested in this stuff. So that way they can take a look at it and give me their feedback.
Okay. Hit me up after because I got a couple people on LinkedIn in mind.
Awesome. Perfect. And the goal is to give it to people who don't know my stuff like so thoroughly, so that way we can look for gaps and stuff like this. So, okay. All right. So I've been looking at this comment over here, like, and I have to address it. Okay. So Lindsay, cranberry fluff salad with cranberries, pecans, and marshmallows. Wow.
So that sounds like from the same tree of Levi's cranberry, pecans, and mandarin oranges. Yeah. Except there's marshmallows.
Is this just like a not Texas thing? Is this like really popular and like because Levi's not from here originally, so maybe it's something picked up along the way.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
Maybe so. I've seen things like this on tables. I just
I see. Hold on. He goes, I see things like this on tables.
He doesn't deserve a label. It's just there's these things on the table.
in every super staged Thanksgiving photo shoot, I always see some kind of weird cranberry salad. I never see anybody eating it.
Yes.
I don't know. A lady I babysat for in high school made it. Okay, well, cool.
You know what? If you're the Jello, it's probably good. I'm not into Jello.
If you're into Jello,
you know,
how is that a thing you're not into? Like, did you just like wake up one day and you're like, you know what? I'm no longer a child. I do not like Jello. It's the boring life for me.
I didn't eat Jello as a kid.
Really?
No, I didn't like it.
Okay. All right.
It's alien-esque. It's weird.
I love that.
It's springy. Why is food springy like that?
So you don't like any dessert that has its own ability to like hold its shape. So you're not a flan guy either.
Oh no, flan. That's a different story.
Really? Yeah, I don't like flan, but I like Jello.
Oh, okay. So we have made the divide in the world. There's a split right here on the screen, and we now know what it is. It's flan, Jello. So pick your side. Go to your side.
Yeah, flan is weird. It's not supposed to have that much wobble to it. Mike says that Easterners have it for the winter holidays. Mike, like food wise or just winter wise? Because I know it sucks winter wise. So
yeah. Well, I see it, in movies a lot on tables, right? Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff. Like Home Alone, like I'm thinking, I feel like there's one of those on the table and like Home Alone and like, I don't know.
Oh, wait, hold on. All is right with the world. Michelle Stifler is very, very, very Mexican and does not like flan.
Which that's weird because that is like a signature dish. And, flan, you haven't had the right flan yet. That's the problem.
Is that the thing?
Yeah, Jello is Jello. Jello is just an alien thing that sits there. Flan is like any other food. Like you can make it badly, you can make it well. Right.
And I had no idea that you were like a flan hipster.
Neither did
I liked flan back in the day before it was popular.
Oh man.
Okay. Oh, Mike's talking about food wise, the cranberry Jello. Michelle says that she's not that kind of Mexican. Well, I'm not really sure what that kind of Mexican means, but Michelle is Mexican. Totally fine.
I think flan's Spanish.
Oh, okay.
So that might be
interesting.
Okay. It's Spain.
Okay, so let's ask this question. Do we want to do morning bills next week?
I'm down for like a couple check-ins because we could always talk about what food we're about to eat. We can just check in with everybody and say, how's your relaxing going?
All right. If you're here in the comments, if you're going to be here next week and you want us to hang out, or if you want to hang out with us next week, because we'll probably chat of some sort.
Yeah.
We'll do it. If you guys aren't going to be here though, because you're going to be sleeping in and enjoying your time, then awesome. And we want to be just like you.
Yes.
I say yes at least a couple of times. Michelle, we can hang out whenever you want, but somebody had to move to Tennessee, so we'll have to figure something out. Where else can you get this type of entertainment, Mike? This is the question of the day, sir. I don't know that anybody else wants this kind of entertainment, but right here, 7:45 every morning, except maybe on weeks where we have one holiday day on a Thursday.
And then you might get it twice that week.
How ridiculous is that? Like, it's not like it's like Christmas. It's Thanksgiving. It's one day. We just knock off the other day. Screw it. Friday. Let's make some people work in the worst jobs ever, and then mob them with lots of people who are like ungrateful and selfish. Like it's the worst thing ever. It's like one of the worst things about being an American is the whole Black Friday thing. I get to wait until 8:45. Mike, if you move, sir, we come earlier in the day, right? If
you're on West Coast,
no, he's East Coast.
No, but he's moving west, possibly.
No, I'm just saying he should, right? If you want this at 6:45, man, you're on the wrong coast, man. You got to move the other side, and you can maybe get away from the cranberry salad, which could be exciting. Some new tastes on around the holidays.
I support this message.
Do one show next week live from John's during the throes of meal preparation. Oh, well, Levi, I do this really cool thing where the whole family becomes very, very like 50s around like Thanksgiving. I'm not allowed in the kitchen. I'm just supposed to go find something to do, which is usually playing video games. Oh, Mike's daughter's in Texas. Mike, what part of Texas is she in? So back to Levi. John handles no meal preparation, right? I typically make one dessert, and I haven't even done that the past couple of years. So I might have to do that just to show my cheesecake making prowess. It might not be pumpkin cheesecake, which apparently does not make the bar in this group, which is totally okay. Pumpkin spice everything. But maybe we'll see. If
you make a cheesecake, I will come get some of that. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, Mike, your daughter's in Dallas? That's where we are, my friend.
Yeah.
Dude, you're gonna be like East Texas. You're not coming to get pumpkin cheesecake, and it's not gonna be here the next day.
I told you, Thanksgiving Day, I'll be here. I'll be at Mindy's parents up in the north side of DFW.
Oh, that's right. Okay, well, I might be persuaded then.
If you make one, let me know, because that's all I really want to know is, did you make it and how was it? And because who knows schedules on Thanksgiving.
We should do a morning BIL while I'm baking the cheesecake, because if nothing else, it would be hilarious. I cuss a lot when I bake.
How about we do Monday, because that's a good way to wake our Monday mornings up and see where we're at, and then let's do Thursday morning, Thanksgiving Day, or are you going to cook it Thursday morning or Wednesday?
I don't know. I don't even know when I'm going to do this thing. So
okay. Well, let's do Monday.
We'll have to figure that out.
Do Wednesday, and then if you need to slide that Wednesday to get our baking show in, the great Fort Worth bake show, and
it's just one guy.
Another guy on the other side,
Can I get a Paul Hollywood handshake from myself? If I'm all like trying to figure it out with the hands, trying to it's underbaked. What do you got for today, Bill?
Gosh, I got to eat now. We all talk about food. Like
you were eating before we started. That's why we're so.
I didn't finish. I got to finish up some of my magic protein oatmeal. I have a podcast recording today for Clarity and Purpose. Nice. I have.
Wait, is that the Croft one, or is that y'all's? That's y'all's.
That's ours.
Okay.
Yeah. Now his is something else. Something and something. He actually followed me on Instagram yesterday with it. So.
Me too. Yeah.
Yeah. So so I've got the podcast. I've got some client work. I've got a potential client's phone call, and then I've got good old blocking and tackling.
Good old blocking and tackling.
Which this time means actually writing. It's going to be writing.
Okay.
I got to write that outline.
Cool.
Yep.
Man, I'm so glad to have the course, like the bulk of it done. Like, such a weight off. So I don't have actually anything on the books for like meetings until Sales Lab today at 2, which means that I get to do like a whole lot of blocking and tackling and cleaning up, and I get to do the videos for the course and stuff like this. I get to feel productive, which is a little bit messy, right? Because like sometimes that looks like chasing the busy as opposed to like actually being productive. And I was thinking about that on my walk this morning. Of man, it's such a slippery slope from being productive and being intentional to just loving that scramble so much that you don't do a good job of managing it. So
right. So you want to do list checking in the good way today? Yeah.
Right. Okay. I want to be intentional. Oh, I don't know what's up with my mouse pad. But I've got this big block of time, and so I've got some writing to do. I need to. I've been talking about the Stillness is the Key book report for a while. I need to get that written up because man, it's a great book. And so I've got Sales Lab today at 2. So if you want to come practice some of your conversations, right, come show up. That's the whole point of it. Some reps so that way you're more prepared to talk about it in front of your prospects as you. So best way to communicate with other people is as yourself, so that way you come across as a human and not a salesperson. So that way you don't get yelled at or cussed at as salespeople sometimes do. So come practice. After that, I have a catch up with a friend of mine. His name's Maher. We used to work together at AT&T. And then I have a digital. I gave that LinkedIn presentation last week, and I got some leads from it. And so I've got the first one of those kind of discovery calls today. Talk through what's going on, see if there's anything there. And yeah, so the afternoon has got some Zooms and stuff like this, but the morning and the early afternoon is going to be super solid, and I'm excited about it.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Yeah. I had a question for you. Oh, so the course. Mm-hmm. I'm used to people being like, hey, I've got this new course, I'm giving it away for free. Come in here for 10 people. I'm going to need some sort of, I don't want to do it for free, right? Like this isn't like, hey, I'm going to go see if I know anything about this area, right? I feel like I've already kind of proven that. So the thing that I want to do, right, because like I want to make this course probably, 500 or more. So what I'm thinking about doing is saying, okay, the first 10 people who will commit to leaving me, social proof and feedback, you get the course for $100. And you also get, 2 months of Sales Lab or 1 month of Sales Lab or something like that for free. Chris Rivera's in the house. What's up, Chris?
Dude, you missed all the best stuff. Oh.
Well, hold on. He can chime in. Chris Rivera, what is the dessert you're looking forward to next Thursday? And what is the food item, non-dessert, that you're looking forward to next Thursday? And if it's 2 dessert items, we'll only judge you a little bit.
Or we will give you a hug of our own.
Michelle, the LinkedIn presentation is not recorded, but would be happy to go over it with you. And also, I have a LinkedIn guide, guys, about how I use LinkedIn to generate lots of referral conversations, introduction conversations. I have it. You can absolutely have a link to it. If only I was smart enough to have it right here. I could put it on the chat. Maybe I can. Give me 1 second. Jake, fill time.
Oh, boom, boom, boom.
Fill time. Oh, there it is.
Scroll through it real quick while John is doing nothing. Don't worry about it. He's just over there making magic happen, because that's today's theme here. It's magic food. Magic in the table of contents here, what you will learn, what tools you'll need, prospecting referrals. Actually, I've used this on a couple occasions as reference points, not just because my face is in it. I was going to try and find that. There you go.
Yeah, there it is. There it is.
All head. But look at this. This is a super legit guide. This is not like somebody who pulled off a PDF to say, hey, look at my PDF. This is like step-by-step stuff for creating and following up with the referrals, and specifically like the stuff he uses to do that. So it's a good one. I'd say go get it. It's officers up. You know, John,
put it right
John
here.
Halfway.
That's kind of fair. So this is it right here. Go get it in the comments. You can download the whole thing. If you have questions about it, please let me know. Oh, flan is from Spain, Jake. Come on.
I knew it.
Chris says pumpkin pie and tons of whipped cream, a cup of good coffee on the side. Chris, I respect for the fact that you paired the coffee with the pumpkin pie, and I'm also a fan of lots of whipped cream. Like it's 60-40, with like the 60 being just like a shell of whip around it.
Cool Whip though, not whipped cream.
Yes.
Cool Whip on the pumpkin pie.
If that's the label of the foamy, cloudy goodness that I put all over my pie on it, then I'm okay with that.
So do you spray or do you dip it from a bucket? That's the difference.
Yes.
You just don't want to fight, John, do you?
No, it's not. It's not about fighting. It's I literally don't care. It's whipped cream, right? I mean, if we're really trying to argue over which cloudy, amazing thing that we don't need to ever eat ever is actually better, and making one like a tribe so that we can look down on the other one.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bucket homemade whipped cream. Wow, that's interesting.
That's like homemade ice cream, I guess. That's where the real stuff is. That's real.
Okay, interesting. I've never made homemade whipped cream or homemade ice cream, actually.
Ooh, it's all and. Yep, that's right, Chris.
What is that? Is that a inside baseball thing?
What you said. It's all of it, and whatever else you want to throw it.
Like, it's all and.
Yeah, yes, it's both and is the way I always say that. Yeah.
Man, Chris Rivera is clutch on the Quirk team. Like I've spent less time with Chris than I have with you or my God, I'm blanking than James. Yes, the dancing unicorn. And he's coming in here clutch with like the right dessert, right? And some nice gems.
All quality on Quirk. And Chris would be like if you were on an island and you needed someone to only order, like you needed one person to order food for the whole group, the whole trip you were there, you'd say, Chris, you got that, my friends. That is yours. Because he knows how to pick food. He's a go-to on that. Anytime he's like, hey, you should try this, I'm like, yes.
Awesome.
And then I would just have to respectfully decline.
Unless it's Jell-O.
That's right. Man. That's right.
Man, I cannot believe you don't like Jell-O, Jake Jordan.
Too many J's. Jake Jordan.
Too many. Whenever I met Jake, everybody, his email address was thejakejordan.com. So it was jake@thejakejordan.com. And I just thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen in my entire, like, that's the domain you buy.
Yeah, well, you can imagine the conversations between John Awesome Hill and the Jake Jordan.
That's true.
We were probably thought we owned the world at that point. So
that's true. That's true.
Actually, the true story is there's a fisherman in Florida who's been around for 30 years who owns jakejordan.com, and I have wrestled with that guy to get that domain, and he won't even answer my emails. Like, so, well, thank you, Gabriel.
You're gonna have to do you're gonna have to do a Noah Kagan and pay like $10 million for the domain.
Oh, no, I can't do it. I won't. I was waiting for him to die out. Honestly, he's an older gentleman, so I was thinking, he's a late 60s, early 70s fishing guide.
The 70s?
Fishing guide in Florida.
Oh.
No, late 60s, early 70s, like age-wise. Yeah.
It sounded like you said 70s. With like a weird accent, so I was unsure what was going on there. So I was racking my brain trying to come up with like something to like build the personal brand around, because John Hill is obviously a little too common, right? And so there for a while it was John Awesome, and it was funny because I used to work with this woman named Pat when I worked at the bank, and she always called me John Awesome, like she just thought that this was funny, and so she commented on a thread the other day and she was like, oh yeah, John Awesome Hill. And I was like, man, it's been a very long time since anybody has called me that. So between John Awesome and John Small Mountain, I was trying to come up with like something cool to call myself, right? Because, johnhill.com. Yeah. So coming from the Kung Fu realm, right? I was like, oh, right. There's this idea of like you condition thoroughly so that way you can develop iron-like limbs, right? And so I was like, oh, well, that would be interesting because I'm really big about improvement, being a little bit better. And then I was like, oh, I'll just be Iron John. And I was like, wait a minute, that's not a great idea, right? Because of all the toilet references and everything else like this.
Wow,
right?
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
Yeah. So, and then, the prostitute frequenters are also called Johns, right? It's a very unfortunate name. Like, I don't think my parents knew exactly what they were doing when they were.
There's only 1 billion of you named that, so I don't think your parents were the only ones. Very, very, very common.
Very common, for sure. Well, the cool thing is that I always think it's unfortunate whenever you have a like famous last name like Jordan, and then your parents name you Michael on the front end of it. Yeah. Like, are you just trying to make that kid's life as hard as you possibly can imagine?
I know.
Gabriel, porcelain. Good one. Yeah, that I should have gone that way.
Yeah. The only problem is I don't know if I could spell porcelain, so I couldn't even get to John's website myself. So
looking at that, it looks like it's spelled wrong there, and I
don't even know. That's the point. I couldn't tell you how to spell.
I'm not trying to date Gabe's spelling skills, but I don't know if that's how you spell porcelain. Porcelain. It's already lost all meaning for me. I've said it like 3 times and it's gone.
Yeah. The point is you need to be either Tenzin or a mountain or a bison or something relating to those couple of things, because that's who you are and that's how you hold yourself out, rather than get a new one. You know?
Oh yeah, no. I mean, at this point, I think it's small mountain for life.
Yeah.
Now Gabe thinks that I should appropriate the Hispanic and Mexican culture and call myself Juan Hill. I don't really think that's going to go over super well, if I'm being honest. But Gabe, if you want to call me Juan, sir, you are more than welcome to do so.
Mm-hmm.
Can we announce that we're going on Gabe's show? I guess I just did.
Not Gabe, not me.
Hey Gabe, is it cool if we tell everybody we're going to come on your show?
Yeah, I booked it yesterday. He's supposed to reach out to you for your glamour shots. I mean headshots.
Oh wait, hold on.
That's right. So there you go.
It's funny because the all the headshots that I have and use are from like before we launched the Throwdown, right? So these were all done in I don't know, June or July of last year, and the look has most definitely changed a little bit.
Yeah, like, no, we asked, is this One Hill? We thought
with the beard, it's Juanito Hill.
Right.
And so here recently, some people have gotten on calls with me, and they're like, "You don't look anything like your headshots," and I'm like, "Oh, time for a new one then." So
the beard's staying, right?
What's that?
The beard's staying, right? Yeah,
the beard. Wow. The beard is probably going to be a permanent fixture of the face at this point. Melissa likes it. I like it. So it's just kind of stay there. I can pull pics from anywhere. God, this sounds so threatening. All right. Well, Gabe, how about I just get you some pics, and that way you don't have to go do that rather devious sounding hunt.
Yeah, like we could come back with Perfume John photos.
Oh, God.
I'll pick from whatever that was.
Oh man, I think
smooth, naive John.
Oh man, I think I have a photo from that time, right? Oh God, man, I think about that now, and I'm just like, what the hell was I thinking? That was so funny.
They'll do it. I fell for an Amway, in my 20s. That was really. There's some people make some bank in Amway. Don't get me wrong, but like I fell for a bad Amway group. It was bad.
Clint on the show talks about that he bought a Kirby vacuum, and that he ended up paying like 3 times like what it was worth, because it they took the monthly payment, and they did the thing where they invited the guy in, and he spilled the dirt all over the floor and then vacuumed it up, and he was like, I mean, he did so much work, I had to buy it after that. And I was like, they do this in literally every house, and he was like, I know, but like my carpet was cleaner. Like it's so weird how he justifies it in his head.
Man, it works on people,
It works.
It does. Otherwise, they'd stop. I'd find another thing to do.
Absolutely. The rule of reciprocity. If I do something nice for you, you are more inclined to do something nice for me, which is why, read. It's back here, but it's Influenced by Robert Cialdini. It's one of the greatest books about how to use the psychology of like all of this stuff to make sure that your like conversations are on point. It is a thick read. So maybe do the Audible.
It's a thin book though. That's what's funny, because
it is a thin book. Yeah,
the book is so thick.
It is a thin one. Yeah. Like that was. I almost gave up on that book, and then I got it on the audio and really, really enjoyed it from that point on. Yeah. The only book that I have not made, so that's kind of my process. Like I'll buy a book, if it becomes really highly recommended, I'll try to read it. If it's too dense or something, I'll pivot to the audio version. Mm-hmm. But Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman, couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's tough one.
Right. Yeah. Wow. Just watch the 12-minute TED Talk video talking about like the elements of it, because you get all the good stuff from there without all the clinical I'm super smart stuff that goes along with it, because you don't really need it. The idea is that our fast twitch thinking is usually not the best twitch thinking, right? So, you have to like force yourself to slow down because of all our cognitive and mental biases and everything else. So,
which is really interesting also, because if you read Blink, he'll tell you the opposite. And that a lot of our first gut reactions and instincts are our best decisions in the long run, because our brains are so powerful that they've already processed all the information of that 80-20 kind of thing. So his ideal is on every day, go with your gut. On big decisions, slow down. But big decisions happen once a week, once a month. That's how Blink thinks about it, which I thought was really interesting. So there's two differing thoughts depending on who you want to go with.
And that's a Gladwell book, right?
Yes, I think so. It's been a while since I read that one.
I appreciate what Malcolm Gladwell has done for like culture at large, right? Mostly around the idea of like the 10,000 hour rule, right. Because I think that really kind of showed, hey, you can't read 2 articles about something and consider yourself like really good at it, right? It takes time. But knowing also that Anders Ericsson, the guy who we pulled that quote from, felt the need to come out with a whole other book to talk about how he got it wrong, makes me also think that maybe that guy is not the guy I should be looking towards for this kind of thing. I
think of Gladwell as a what's the word? A gateway for interesting thoughts.
I would agree with that.
I normally don't stop with him. He brings something up and then I go explore it if I think it's interesting, because he's a creative. He's all over the place, man. His thinking, writing, creative. So like he has another good book of his is actually the Goliath one, David versus Goliath. Anyway, he has some good stuff. It's just he writes a lot, so you're bound to have some stinkers too.
That's fair, and that's a good point. Yeah, the 10,000 hours things is really, really interesting, right? Because you can actually put 10,000 hours into something and just be doing it by rote and autopiloting and stuff like this, and probably still not have that mastery. And on the other level, right? If you're very purposeful about your practice, right, and you're doing it the right way with accountability and coaching and kind of all the stuff that you and I talk about on here, like it doesn't have to be 10,000 hours, right? So while it's great because it gives you a target to shoot for, it also is damaging because it allows you to be complacent in your advancement, right? Yeah. I got to put in 10,000 hours until until I'm good at this, right? So you just go over here and you're just doing it as fast as you can, right? It's like the personalization of marketing, right? Well, I'm not going to worry about my conversion rate. I'm just going to spray this out to everybody I possibly can. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a balance in there, just like with anything else.
Yeah, I had a football coach that said if you practice like crap, you play like crap. So I don't care how much you practice like crap. Perfect practice makes perfect play.
Absolutely. Right. And you practice for perfection. So that way, like in the moment when things don't go according to plan, you're going to be closer to perfection. Right. Yeah. Self one, self two. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, there's this idea in poker. One of the best books about poker that I ever read is by, I think this is coming from the Tommy Angelo book, and it talks about this idea that like every poker player on the planet has like their best game, their A game, and then you got your B game, your C game, your D game, and everything else like this. And he goes, smart players just don't play their D game ever. They're not trying to like raise the level of their A game. They're just making sure that they're not playing when they're like in bad mindsets, right? And I remember reading that in like, I think I read that in 06, 07 when I was playing poker full time, and I was just so blown away. And I was like, oh, just don't play when I'm in a bad like headspace. That makes a ton of sense. Yeah. And I think about that a lot now. Right. If I'm all hung up because like the last person was, kind of a pain in the ass and hard to deal with and stuff like this, I don't need to be on this call. Right. Like I need to go deal with that thing so that way I can enter this call without carrying any of that weight.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's when I talk about creating environments a lot. That's one of the reasons I create environments, is to have good headspace, because it's pretty much the foundation of anything you're going to do that's productive. It's good headspace.
Yeah.
But,
man, okay. I finished the Queen's Gambit last night.
Oh yeah. Right.
It was good. It was good.
Right.
There were some elements about it that I thought were cheesy and a little too plot devicey, but like overall, I really liked it, and I think they did a good job of really showing that talent can get you to like a certain level, but over and above that, it's like how you hone that talent. You know, what kind of work are you putting in over and above the minimum that gets you to where you're going?
Well, and in the end, without any spoilers, having community is really what puts you over the top ultimately. Like you can't get to the end without some help. Because
see, that's really interesting. I was so jaded about the cheesiness of that aspect that I was like, I couldn't really get into it. What are some good things to do? You do to clear that no good headspace? Man, Chris, this is
John,
in my opinion,
all day. He actually only works 2 hours a day. He is avatar level meditator.
No, I'm not, right? And we can look at my tracker. It very clearly shows that I don't meditate daily. Chris, like for me, I have to take things that suck and make them into jokes, and then I have to go tell those jokes to some people for a while, and then I can get past it, right? Like that's how I think about big, heavy stuff. I got to turn it into a joke. I got to go riff on it, kind of like an open mic thing, right? I'll call Jake and I'm like, man, you got to listen to what this idiot said, and I'll turn it into a joke and I'll share it with some other people, and then eventually it becomes kind of lightweight enough for me to like not have to deal with it the same way. The other thing is, man, this is super important. There's a book called The Powerful Engagement, and the guy in the book talks about the fact of like we all try to manage our time and our productivity, but like the thing that we need to be managing is our energy, right? Because like we're going to call upon vast stores of energy to do deep work and to write and to be on sales calls, especially if they're not comfortable for you and things like this. So replenish that energy, right? And he talks about if you're as opposed to trying to create more work into every minute, go do like 30 minutes of like hard work, right? Go lift weights, go for a walk or for a run or whatever. And whenever I run into the wall in the middle of the day of like a bad prospecting call or something else like this, or I'm just mad, like that's the first thing I do is like, I'll just go for a walk, right? Get out of the house, change the situation and the scenery. But it doesn't bother me as much as it used to, and the reason for that, I believe, is because of all the journaling and the meditation and other stuff I do. I think it's a muscle, and I was talking about this with Melissa. Like I don't view meditation as like a failure if I think about anything. It's like I'm just trying not to hold on to any one thing. So this thing comes in, and this is super tantalizing, and then it's just let it go and come back to the center. So much like everything else, I try to make it as difficult as possible. So it's how many times can I successfully make that trip back to the center? It's not how long I stay there or anything else like this. It's can I find my way back to I'm not attached to any one of these things.
Yeah.
So that's kind of it for me. What do you do, buddy? Eat.
Touche. Breathing is a big part. Breathing.
Yeah. For sure.
And you just read that book, so you probably even have some more science and stuff on it. But I just know that we hold our breath so much, like as Americans, Westerners, we hold our breath all the time. And once you start really observing your breath, you start noticing how much you're holding it. And breath is life. So it's like if you just breathe regularly, I have less no good headspace moments just by breathing regularly. And then I think that's ultimately why a lot of people take walks. They're like, oh, I got to take a walk. It's because you have to breathe to walk. So the walk helps, obviously, the activity, but the breathing, I think, is the basis of it. So breathing is a big part of it. And then, John and I talk about this all the time, actually. I schedule my hard, deep work sessions in the morning. I just don't do much deep work in the afternoons anymore, just because I know from that energy source that you're talking about, you have to pull from this energy level, is I do my heavy writing. I do any sort of heavy thinking. all before lunch. And then after lunch, if at all possible, it's more, working in frameworks that I don't have to think in, or having conversations with friends, or doing networking, or things like that, client stuff in the afternoon.
Yep.
But it's like client discovery, morning. Client work, like on the phone or Zoom or whatever, afternoon, because that's relational. That's been a game changer for me. I did that probably 5 years ago. I made that change. And because I'm the type of person, I think John and I are actually opposite on the scale. I have short bursts of energy. I burn really, really hot for 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes. And then I'm out for 5, 10 minutes. I got to reset my brain. Whereas John can work heads down for, who knows, longer than I can.
Yeah. And I think I got that same idea from you, right? Because I do all my deep work in the morning, all my project stuff in the morning, and then at about noon is when I'm supposed to take my lunch, and then from 1 on is when I network and coach and everything else like that, because it doesn't pull from like hard to access stuff when after lunch and all that stuff. So
yeah.
Yeah, great question, Chris. Thank you. Man, okay, man. Well, so Bill, we went long on kind of on accident, but now that we know about pumpkin cheesecake and cranberry salad, and Juan Hill, I feel better about my day.
It's a good day. I mean, 10 o'clock, I can be done. We're set. Yeah.
Yes. The other cool thing that I haven't talked about on here, but I've been talking about it on social media, is Monday, Tenzin gets here.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So, yes, we have, or I have this idea of trying to, as we're talking about mindfulness and journaling and meditation and everything, the hard thing about building these habits is that the first small increases are just the fact that you're better at sitting there quietly, which is kind of hard to figure out why you would take the time to do that. And talking about breathing specifically, it's one of these things to where I will find myself in the middle of a call or something, and I'll just kind of remember to like settle into the breath or whatever. And the conversation changes every time that I do that, and it's interesting because, right, as kids, we breathe into like our bellies, and then over time we start to just breathe into our chests, and those breathing processes are not the same, right? So taking that time and having that like practice of like going back to the breath and back to the breath is helpful outside of these things. So the idea is Tenzin is a bison entrepreneur salesperson who sometimes manages his self-care very well and is able to kind of avoid some of the lizard mind, monkey mind stuff that happens. And sometimes he doesn't. So we're going to kind of track his journey and see how his mindfulness exercises show up in his role as an entrepreneur.
I love it. I can't wait.
It's either going to be really funny or just going to go down in flames like instantly.
I think it'd be great. It's going to be what it is. It's I am kind of hoping for a Pam moment where Melissa shows up and makes a comic book out of it and presents it to you. And then I can get a copy of that.
Yeah, man. Chris, yeah, that's it, right?
If you think about when you get mad at your kids and you're trying not to be mad, what's the first thing you do? Okay, I don't want to be mad. Okay, let's reset this conversation. Right? It's the breathing. It's the breathing.
It is the breathing for sure. Yeah, the James Nestor book Breath was very, very interesting. I highly recommend that if you're into breathing and breath work and everything. The Wim Hof stuff is also very, very good as well. So if you're into that, the Wim Hof course is actually very good. I've done some ice baths and I've done some ice work, not anywhere near the level that he has. Send them outside. But there's a bunch of cool breath stuff on there. And I know that breath stuff for like a lot of people kind of enters the woo for them, right? It's a little too wooey and they can't really get behind it. I understand that. But there's something there. I'm still trying to figure it out for myself, but something interesting.
Oh yeah. And then for my Christian friends, God breathed life into us. So breath is important. Like breath is a massively, massively important across any different, practice you go to. Breath's at the center of it. So
interesting. Yeah, I was not thinking about it from that angle, but yeah.
Yep. Oh, and Chris, I agree. It's time for a morning nap. All the talk about food, I'm going to take a morning nap.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. That's for sure.
Yep.
Oh, awesome. Bill, you going to get in your own way at any point today? Do I need to reach out or nudge you or anything?
No, I've actually got a pretty busy day, so I'll be on the calendar most of my day.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I just got lots of deep work to do, which I'm excited about, and then sales lab at 2. So if you want to come practice, hit me up, send me a message. I will send you the links and information. It's free for the first, trial time until you make sure that you like it or you don't. So let me know what that looks like, and we'll go from there. Awesome. All right, Bill. See you tomorrow, sir. At school tomorrow, so we need to be short.
Yep, last one of the semester, actually. So.
Oh, dang. Okay, cool. Yeah. So short episode tomorrow, and then we'll be back on track. So, But thanks, Chris, Michelle, Gabriel, Levi, Mike. Yeah. Thank you, Mike. Lindsay. Thank you, everybody, for coming in, hanging out with us for a little bit. And yeah, we will talk to everybody tomorrow. Try to be productive and don't spend too much time thinking about pie.
Already failed. I got the